All right, guys, here we go again. This is Emmett Stallworth, your Alpha Builder. I'm doing this right here. I know I need to come on every once in a while, but I have a couple of random items right here that I want to kind of go over. Guys, I'm doing this right here from home. You never know what's going to happen at home. You know, the dog might bark, somebody may call, or somebody may ring the doorbell. But I'm gonna go a couple of things, and I had these items on my board, and I think they're too short to do a full video on. So I'm gonna take each one of these items so I can erase it off of my board. Once again, guys, like, share, subscribe, and let's get into this thing. Okay, the first item that I want to talk about was the fear of growing your business. And, I try not to allow my fear of failure to be greater than the excitement of succeeding. And I like to think, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki, and I suggest you guys to get number one, if you're going to be in business, whether you're in business building, in construction, or whatever business that you're in, there are just certain books you need to get. And one of the books is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I think he wrote a couple more, Cash Flow Quadrant. Guys, those books changed. They were inspirational, and they had a very big impact on me developing a certain mindset. Now, but he always said in one of his books, I forgot which one it was, he said, do not allow your fear of failure to be greater than the excitement of succeeding. I get afraid, as far as the growth of your business. And the reason that you can get afraid is because you can actually create a monster. And I like to put it this way because I talked with a guy, an old builder. His name was, I think it was Jim Mitchell. I think this guy was about 90 years old. And he was one of the guys that, for the most part, I think he started the modular building here in the Alabama area. But this guy, he said that when he was doing that modular company, it was like building a lion or a tiger. And you had to keep feeding that tiger. And if you don't feed them, that tiger is going to mess around and turn on you and bite you. What he meant, and that was an analogy of his company. His company was growing. He was building it. He was hiring people, had a lot of people coming in, working for him. Well, he became responsible for those people's lives. And he was building a machine. And you got to understand that construction, especially residential construction, is determined by the ebbs and flows of the economy. So if the economy is good, people buy houses. If the economy is bad, they don't. So if you catch that tiger in the middle of you not being able to produce or you not being able to sell houses, because those people got to work. You don't want to lay them off. They got to work. And then, if you catch it at the wrong time and you don't have the money to feed or make payroll for your employees, you're in trouble. And guys, I'm gonna tell you something. If you lose an employee, now you got to train somebody all over again. That within itself is a lot of work. You don't actually start getting the full potential. You don't actually start getting a profit from your employees till they've probably been working there for maybe 2 years, 1 or 2 years. After they went through the training, then they become productive to your company. So that fear is going to be there, but you can't be afraid of that fear. I mean, you gotta grab that baby by the horns and wrestle it to the ground. I guess I'm just built like that. I'd like to be able to grow. Now, in today's market, get back to this right here. In today's market, you don't necessarily have to, what I'm realizing is you don't necessarily have to hire someone full time. You don't have to do it the way we used to do it. Like you're going to hire somebody, they work there with you and things like that. You can actually hire through the gig economy. You know, if I just got certain jobs going on, I got certain guys that can pair up with me and team with me to do that one particular job. And then, you know, we just kind of do that. They got their own thing going on. I got my own thing going on, but we got this one particular job. We pair up and we split profits on this right here job. Once again, I handle the administrative, you handle the boots on the ground. You know, I can help train some of these guys too. You know, that's kind of my thing, because you don't just want to, my thing is you don't want to just let some of these guys out here. You know, I have enough knowledge between me and a couple of builder friends of mine. We have enough knowledge to really train builders properly. So, I mean, we'll be out there making sure that they don't go astray, because it's going to take about 4 to 5 years as a builder just to kind of get this thing figured out, you know. But you don't need to be, you know, as a new builder, you don't need to be out there dealing with certain things, because you really need to be focused on just the construction side of it, the production side of it. You know, then you turn around and start learning administrative. And that's pretty much how people actually grow businesses. But you can't let that fear get you. And like I said, like in today's economy, we can just gig different. We can use the gig economy and that's how you can grow. So I don't think that fear is like it used to be. Now that I'm starting to think outside of the box and think a different way, I thought I needed a whole staff. I need this guy doing this. I need to have a decorator, a designer. I need to have an estimator. I need to have my superintendents. I need to have the production manager, and all of those guys coming to work every day in this building. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't. Matter of fact, it's probably more efficient if the guys would go straight to the job site instead of showing up at a office and stuff like that. You show up at the job site. It's probably more efficient than my estimator. If I got a guy that I'm gigging the estimation portion of it out, that guy just come in and he understands how I do things. Now we may have to meet on the field every once in a while so he can understand how, you know, how to estimate properly, how to, you know, maybe estimate based on how I do things. But he could be at the house. You know, he don't have to get up in the morning and waste an hour or 2 hours getting ready, and then you drive to work and stuff like that. They can get on that computer, estimate, figure things out. I don't have a problem with it. So I don't think the fear of growth is not as bad as it used to be. I think I'm getting to the point now where I think we need to grow. There's another one, and well, let me just say this right here. So you got to have foresight. You know, if you want to grow, you got to have foresight. You got to, like right now, guys, I'm thinking the stuff that I'm doing right now. If you guys, if I can turn this thing around, you can look at my little chart over here that I got charts and stuff posted everywhere. These charts are 5 to 10 years out. Foresight. I'm thinking about that 5 to 10 years out. 5 on the short haul, 10 on the long haul. There are things that I'm working on now that we're not going to see until another 5 years. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm doing a little bit every day to get closer and closer to that. And you know what I found out too about this is actually foresight was number 2. Number 3 is I also want to talk about being anxious for nothing. Guys, when you're out here in this game, and I think that is a passage in the Bible as well. You know, I'd like to see if I can find that somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I think there's something in the Bible that talks about that. I knew this right here would happen. Anxious for nothing. Let's see if it's in the Bible somewhere. Yep, Philippians 4, 6 and 7 in the King James Version. It says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And guys, being anxious for nothing. See, when you're anxious, you do things. You start to act out of emotion. You let your emotions start to work on you. Business is totally different. Your decisions need to be made on facts, reason, and logic. Now, sometimes you get a gut feeling. Sometimes I'm out there I'm out there in the field, especially when I'm dealing with some of my subcontractors. I get certain gut feelings about certain guys. I look at them. That's a different thing. But in business, like growing your business, the way you're gonna move and navigate through your business, you can't be anxious, man. Because if you're anxious, you're gonna make irrational decisions. And guys, especially in today's time, if you make the wrong turn in your business, it's hard to rebound and recover. So you can be anxious for nothing. So that's number 3. I saw this right here out here. This is number 4, guys. I saw this out here. We had a plumber. This little site that me and one of my guys working on. We had a plumber, man, and guys, this plumber just totally out of control. And man, if you're reading this right here, man, hey, it is. You're not finished with the job. Yeah, I doubt if you go online and look at this right here. I hope you will. Let me not hope you don't, but it is what it is, guys. I'd like to put this out here. I got somebody that could come in and handle his set out, because the only thing he got left is to set out. But this guy has done just about everything that you shouldn't do as a plumber. He's done it all. He engages, he gets to the job. Number one, to him, this is a side hustle. Well, this is not a side hustle for us. And guys, let me just say this right here. Guys, if you're out here building and you're a contractor, make sure that everybody that's under you that's doing the same thing, this is not a side hustle for them. This is their full-time hustle. Now, they program and stuff like that on the side. They got a job over here. That's fine, but this needs to be their full-time hustle. They need to be. This is their 9 to 5. They come in the daytime and they work and they do their stuff. That's how this needs to be. Okay. So number one, this was a side hustle for this guy, so he's not taking it serious. Number 2, he's going in the afternoon to do his work. Okay. And then while you're going in the afternoon, there's somebody else that shows up in the afternoon, and that's your homeowners. Because your homeowners, they went to work, they come in the afternoon, they seeing things, and they just excited, man. It is what it is. So they coming in, they looking at these jobs, and they meet this guy out here. And this guy is talking to the homeowner. Instead of him just focusing on what he's doing, he's talking about everything else. You're talking, engaging with the homeowners. And, which creates a problem. It creates a problem because he started to create expectations in that homeowner's mind that you just can't get out. You can't get out of her head. You can't get out of their head. And he starts, throwing other subcontractors under the bus. Well, they didn't do this right here quite right. Just things like that. And let me say this right here. Some subcontractors, man, and if I catch subcontractors doing stuff like that, I'd fire them. I didn't catch them, and I'm letting my guy that's working with them, they work together. So I'd hate to just fire him. I'll just tell him to fire that guy. But that's grounds to be fired. You have no business talking to the homeowner. You need to focus on, and if anything happens, guys, on your site, right? All information, remember this right here, all information on a job site, on a residential job site, it needs to be channeled through one person. You don't need to have everybody trying to do all these different things. It's because there's one person that's the mastermind of the whole thing that's making sure everything comes together. Information needs to be channeled through that person. If there's something wrong, that plumber should go to the superintendent that's running that site, which in this case is Clay. Hey man, I saw this right here as a problem. And let him deal with that. Let him create the expectations with the homeowner. So information, guys. Information needs to be channeled. You don't need to have everybody out here trying to, you know, engage with different people on the job site. Now there are certain instances where the plumber, the mechanical guy may talk to the electricians, and vice versa. The MEP guys may talk to each other. I get that. But, especially when information gets to the homeowners and stuff like that, that don't need to be coming from different subcontractors. It needs to come from the superintendent that's on that job site. And, when guys start doing stuff like that, just kind of running their mouth on your job site. I know a builder friend of mine, man. I mean, he would even have if the homeowners came to the job site, he instructed his subcontractors to go sit in their truck. They don't need to be talking too much. A lot of times they talking and stuff, and they trying to get their eyes off of what they're doing. So be careful with that one. Let's see what else I got here. Number 5. Oh man, this is a hard one here. Well, you got to think about this right here. If I could start over as a builder, what trades would I do? I'm going to be honest with you guys. If I could start over, I wouldn't have went to college. Well, put it this way. I wouldn't have went to a 4-year college. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't even. That's going to be kind of hard, guys, because that 4-year college is what allowed me to get into mathematics. That was my passion, math. And then also when I went to college, I pledged a fraternity, and I got engaged and involved with a bunch of guys, man, that I would know these guys for life. But tell you what, if I can start over with a trade, so let me get back to that. I would probably want to be number 1 on the list. Okay. All right, number 1 on the list would be a framer. I would be that framer. Number 1, that framer, if you're framing, that's kind of at the beginning of the draw with the banks. So builder got money to pay you. So there's no, you get to the end and you don't have enough money to do that part of the job, or the builder say, I don't have enough money to do that part of the job. Oh, you got money on that right there. But the framing to me makes the most sense. Loads and how they stack, spans, the code book, that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, one thing is finding the laborers that can get out there and do it with me, or people I can train. That's going to be another problem too. That's going to be an issue, which is why I go to, I teach classes at a junior college to try to pull some of these guys into the trades. And these are the guys, it doesn't matter what color you are. At this point, I don't care. Black, white, blue, green, we all in this together. So, pulling these guys into the trades. But pulling these guys into the trades like framing, that's a different animal. But that's what I would do. That would be my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick would probably be foundation. I'd probably deal with that foundation. But if I'm going to do a foundation, I'm going to do the foundation. Now, mind you, I'm not going to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy out there. Now, probably a couple of years, I need to be out there. Like I need to be pouring concrete and moving concrete around. But eventually I would graduate myself into running a crew, and having a couple of different crews that goes out and handle the stuff. May have to get a couple of trucks and things like that, and the equipment. But I would probably do the foundation, slabs, not necessarily flat work, but the slab work, and then also the walls. So framing would be my number 1. Foundation would be my number 2. The waterproofing and all that kind of stuff. If I had to go a 3 or 4, I would probably pick drywall. Yeah, me and Mike McLeod, we talks about this a lot, but drywall would be another one that I would do. But if I did drywall, most builders, when they hire people that does drywall, they want them to be the painter as well. So I would probably take paint. The only problem with the paint is that's the one that the homeowners are going to nitpick them to death. So, but another one, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Before drywall, I would probably do trim carpentry. So trim would be one of the other ones that I do. And there's another one, guys. There's something else that guys, there's a wide open market for this. Remember that we talking about it now. Punch out. But this guy doesn't need to be a handyman. His market needs to be builders, residential builders. Punch out man. Punch out guy, when they get the house close to done, you have somebody with that does quality assurance with that company, go through, mark everything, make a note of everything that's wrong, and just send one punch out guy in there to do it all. Maybe with the exception of the paint and stuff. But like a cabinet won't shut all the way. Well, you probably want to call your cabinet guy out there to fix that because you got a warranty on it. But there are little bitty items that require punch out, like a door won't quite close good. Well, you call you trim carpenter back out there. Just typically what I do is when I get to the end, I make a list of the list that I have of the punch out items, things that needs to be fixed and corrected. I call all those subs back out there to get those things done. But punch out guys, you can have somebody to orchestrate the whole thing. Well, the builder's not over there fooling around with that. He going on to the next job site, hire a punch out guy to engage and deal with those subcontractors before you walk through it, before the final walkthrough. So those are the things that I would probably do as a builder. There's one more thing that I get this a lot too, man, especially being an African American contractor. And probably at this point, man, everybody's getting this right here, man. People would come in and, oh man, hook me up. The hookup mindset. I despise that, guys. I despise, people that ask for hookups and stuff like that. The problem with that is they don't value what you do. They just don't. Because there are certain people that ask for hookups, and there's certain people that just don't ask. You don't go to Walmart and you go in there and you see a shirt that's $8, and then you say, hey man, you go to the cash register and ask the people, hey, can you bump this down to $6? Maybe if there's an open box item that's damaged or something like that, but you don't do that. I have perfected. Well, I don't say perfect. I say mastered. I've mastered what I do, and I think that there should be a certain level of respect that you need to put on that, and I think I should be paid what everybody else is being paid. I'm not way above those guys, but I think that I should be paid, compensated fairly. I don't think that there should be, even family members, in that matter, hookup is always a problem. God, it's irritating. Especially, then I have some people that come in and, they think it's easy to build a house. They just, hey man, all you got to do is this right here. All you got to do, when I hear all you got to do, or sometimes I even deal with homeowners not homeowners, like I've seen this over the past couple of years. Hey, you come in and you do this portion, and I can do this, that, and the other. I had a homeowner that called me and said, I'm gonna do this part, and then you do this part right here. Basically they wanted to build half. They wanted me to build half, and they was gonna build the other half of the house. And that's not fair to me. You know, because a house, you got to look at the house or a structure as one unit. Okay. All right, guys. Let me know what you think, guys. Once again, guys, hit that bell button, like, share, subscribe. This helps the algorithm. I'm trying to really grow this channel, but it can grow if you guys help it grow and get this message out to other people. I think, but you guys have a good day. Thanks.